Hey everybody, this is On Screen Off Screen, show where we like to talk about our media intake throughout the week, how it impacts us, and how we impact the media itself. Uh, all three of us here today, which is absolutely awesome. We're gonna just get started at the top of the list. Conlon, what do you have for us?
Weird freaking movie. A weird freaking movie, my friend. Good luck, have fun, don't die. It's got Rockwell as the main actor, and he's great. He is absolutely awesome. I love him. It's got what's her name? Whatever her name is, the younger, supposed to be hot one from Ted Lasso,
Yeah.
whatever her name is.
Juno
Keely.
Temple is the actress's name, but Keeley.
Yeah. She is in it. She does a really good job. She's a different actress in this. Um, and it's good, I think. I think it's good. So, basic story is AI is designed to make everything more pleasurable, more interesting, more useful, more like engaging, and AI starts to come to fruition. But there's one main girl who is allergic to technology. So she doesn't engage with it, but everyone else does. And basically, the AI turns them all into zombies. There's this guy, Sam Rockwell, who goes back in time, and he has come to the conclusion, the future scientists have come to the conclusion that AI is inevitable. They can't do the Terminator thing and just kill the creator because someone else will create it and AI will just happen. So they're trying to go back in time and get the person who creates AI to build in safeguards that they forgot to build in so that the future can be different. Like that's the idea. It's a Terminator with a twist. Um, the AI is fighting against this and somehow shifting reality, which I don't know exactly how it's doing that unless you're already in the virtual reality. I don't know. I was very confused with that. I have no idea. But it goes into the backstory of people starting to get on like Meta headsets or Apple headsets and getting introduced to this world that's better than their own, and they decide to leave this world and go into the digital one permanently. And our main girl, she her boyfriend decides to do this. And so Sam Rockwell is coming back in time over and over and over again, trying to get to the person who created AI so they can put in these safeguards. And weird stuff keeps happening. Like the teenagers are all looking at their phones and they're supposed to be zombies and they're trying to stop them. There's a giant, you would hate this, Josh. You would absolutely hate this. There's a giant cat made of other cats, and it was like they randomly said, "Wouldn't it be crazy if there was a kitten and a centaur?" So basically, they got a bunch of cats together into a giant centaur of cats. I don't know how to describe it without you watching it, but that's basically what it is. And it starts eating the teenagers, and they're trying to run away from the cat and get to the AI to to put in these safety algorithms. It's a weird movie. This is a weird movie. I saw a lot of good reviews on it. It is reviewed well. I think I liked it. I think. Would I rather watch this or Black Panther? Yeah, I think I would rather watch this. I think, but I don't know. And I could see either of you maybe loving this movie. Besides you, Josh. Actually, I couldn't see you liking this because it's got a giant cat, and the cat is literally freaky as hell. But Lauren, maybe you'd like this. Maybe it'd be your kind of weird. Maybe it'd be too weird for you. I don't know. I don't know how to recommend this movie because if the weird works for you, the story's pretty good. And if it doesn't work for you, you're going to be like, what did I just watch? And I'm kind of in the what did I just watch? I think I might have liked that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
we all know I would welcome the AI overlords. Just kidding.
I don't know. Lauren, you should try it. You should try it. I'd be very
Okay.
curious if you like this or you hate it. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 5.5 because I'm positive on it, I think. And the acting is good. and it had some funny parts, and it was satirical in a witty way. There was a lot of wittiness to it. I think the ending is good, but it's just freaking weird. And that's my review of Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
Fair enough.
Well, that sounds like it was an experience that you had. Um,
It was.
I'll go ahead and hit my first topic. This one, I last year did something for Conlon where I watched all of his favorite stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of stuff that Lauren also loves, but I know she loves Full Metal Brotherhood a lot, and I'm in this anime mood, so I'm gonna give it a try. I got about 20 episodes in. I think I'm on like 19 or 18, so not quite 20, but about that. Um, and my review of this show is I understand the people making the claim that it is one of the best intro animes or starter animes. I do not at all believe that this is a greatest of all time animes. Because where I'm at right now, like I said, like 18 ish episodes in, we've just recycled 4 times. That is all the plot that has happened. We have our main 2 characters get into trouble, they break their machinery, they go back to Chick, she has to fix it, they go back out, they defeat bad guy, and repeat. Except the last 2 times, you don't have to go to her because she comes to you, but that's the only real difference. And usually the third episode in this cycle is just like really tragic and sad. Like episode 3 is the guy who turned his daughter into a dog thing. And then we have another guy who turned his wife and whatever into things. And then we learned that people can turn them into talking beings. And then we have our loving father figure character who said, "Come over for dinner sometime." And then they finally say, "Let's go over and see him and have dinner with his family." Kill him.
Kill him!
Yeah, like literally, I sent a picture of Lauren, like, what the fuck? Because all I've been doing is being traumatized by this show.
Yeah.
Positivity at a minimum. We get little glimpses of positivity, just a little bit of trauma, then a little bit of hope, then a little bit more trauma, and then a little bit of hope, and then a lot of trauma, and a little bit of hope. And I'm like, this is really good. Totally respect it. Totally respect the love. Totally respect people saying that it's a great intro anime because it is easily digestible. It is easily followable. But greatest of all time, I'm sitting there like, is this anywhere near as good as Solo Leveling, or Devil as a Part Timer, or
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan, Your Lie in April? Like, no, because I think anime has so many of these nuanced shows, and this is a mass appeal show, right? I see the
Absolutely.
mass appeal, but everybody can have their own nuance anime. Like I have Love is War, and Tomo-chan is a girl, and all of those like chick flicky, lighthearted, jokey ones. So like, I
And
don't
I Have
know.
Your
I
Lie in
guess,
April.
yeah.
Depressing.
If you want
Sad.
depressing,
Traumatic.
sad, you have Your Lie in April, where it hits that like niche for that specific group of people. Um, so I'm liking it. I will continue watching it at some point. I don't know when it will be. I'm not loving it because, like I said, it's just like, why do I like any character at this point? Because the second I like somebody, they're just gonna die in the most tragic, aggressive, horrible way when it's raining, and he just called his wife to say he's gonna be home soon, and He's just helping out these two boys, and then we get an episode with the wife, and she's like, don't feel bad. If you stop doing what you're gonna do, he'll have died in vain, and that would be even worse. And these kids, children who have been blaming themselves, are like, it's my fault! Yeah, it is! You can blame yourself. And then this wonderful woman is just like, don't blame yourself. I'm like, but it's their fault. And she's like, I know it's your fault, but it's okay. Forgive yourself. And I'm like, why would I be happy at all? Like, this is just sad trauma all the time and not enough lift up for me personally.
Yeah, this is definitely like I love this anime, but it's not one that I just can pick up and watch all the time. It's one that I have to be in a very specific mood to watch.
It's not a My Hero.
My Hero I can pick up and watch anytime.
Yeah, because it's
60% of the time,
positive.
all the time.
Yeah. A very, very traumatic show. You
Yeah.
gotta be ready for some heavy stuff. And I was not ready for heavy stuff. I was like, everybody calls this an all-time great. I see it on so many people's top 10 of all times anime. And like most animes that are mass appeal and top ones are, or just shows in general, it's like there's this underlying hope or overcoming tragedy or, upward trajectory. But so far, it's just like they keep preparing me to be traumatized more by slowly escalating their trauma. That's all they're really doing so far. I think the whole show is like 80 episodes or something. So I'm like a fourth of the way through. So yeah, I'll continue watching it. I do hope it gets better.
It has a similar vibe to me on Attack on Titan, but I like Attack on Titan
Because
better.
they're overcoming
And I
in
think
Attack on Titan. There's that hope. There's that
probably,
message of you can overcome this trauma.
but it's also pretty like it's pretty. There's some pretty traumatic, dark stuff in Attack on Titan.
Yeah, there are losses. Like the heroes have to overcome loss, but they get to overcome it, or there is the belief that it is possible to overcome. I'm
It's not
watching
just
Full Metal, and I'm like, this is going to end with them deciding it's not worth the cost, and they're going to stay how they are. Or the Full Metal little brother is going to die because he's a metal suit that can very easily just be eliminated. So we're just gonna be sad and lonely at the end of this. That's all that's gonna happen. Um, so, yeah, when I watch Attack on Titan, it's like, oh man, how are they gonna figure this out? How are they gonna overcome it? When I'm watching Full Metal, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be so sad.
Man.
I'm just gonna be so sad.
Yeah, a little bit. Till the end. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Will it make you feel better that the end is happy?
no, because it's probably going to be a bittersweet happy. It's gonna be like,
What if it's not though?
it is. This is this
What,
kind of
what
a
if
show.
no?
what if it's earned and happy?
It's possible, but the whole pacing and tone of the show is just like everything comes at a cost. So it's gonna end happy, but it's gonna come at a cost. So you're gonna be sitting there questioning if it was really worth it in the end.
That's what I love about this show is that there are consequences, and
Yeah.
it's very much a huge thing in this show where they're like everything comes with a cost, and it's very much beaten into you.
Yep. Yep.
And I enjoy that. Not I enjoy that there's like consequences where I feel like a lot of people shy away from that in storytelling because they're like, oh, well, these are our main characters, so nothing bad could ever happen to them.
I agree with you. It's good. And like I said, I totally understand the message of like, hey, this is a good intro anime. I would put it probably like tier 2 just because of how serious it is. Like, could you imagine your intro to anime just being like, "Look how traumatizing it can be"? I prefer
This
Sword
was
Art
my
Online.
intro.
A little bit more positive. Like, hey, people can be happy, but
So
I
funny
mean,
thing is, my coworker told me to watch Full Metal Alchemist as my intro to anime.
it's
I
popular.
got
It's a
three.
one people do. Yeah.
I got 3 episodes in, and I was like, "This is so depressing. I'm not watching this." And then he's like, "Oh, watch My Hero first." And so then I watched My Hero Academia, and that's where like my love for anime came from. And then I went back to Full Metal, and there's Full Metal Alchemist that's not Brotherhood, the other one that people are like, don't watch. He had me watch it up to a point, and then I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And there's I quote this all the time to Ellie, where Al is disassembled so he doesn't have his legs, and he's left somewhere, and he accidentally gets like picked up and they ship him somewhere else. And he's just like sitting on this road, and it starts raining, and he's like, "No fair, Sky, I should be crying." And I was like, "Oh no." So I say that to Ellie all the time. I'm like, "No fair." Anyway, sorry.
So it sounds like you kind of just agreed with me. It should be
Yeah,
a tier two anime.
and like it's one of my favorites, but it's not my absolute favorite anime. It's my most absolute favorite anime is probably My Hero, but my most watched is Erased.
Yeah,
Erased. I've never
it's
even
on my
heard of
list
Erased.
too. It's another really popular one.
It's
Um,
also another really sad one.
yeah,
It's sad, but not. It's dark,
yeah.
I should say.
Interesting. I
I'm
think
excited to try Erased. I'm
I
also going to try listening to Alchemized. Um,
That one's
so yeah,
super dark.
yeah. I'm okay with dark. I can handle dark. It's just not what I was expecting when I turned on Full Metal, right?
Mm.
Because like previously, I tried watching Full Metal, and I would get to the first sad thing with the dog, and I wouldn't really connect with it. And I'm still kind of that way. I'm still not like fully invested in it. It's still not like pulling me in, but it's still good.
do
I can
you
still see the quality there.
is Erased
Yep,
on Plex?
yep.
That sounds super good. Like it sounds really really good. I like. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that. I think Full Metal was my first anime. It was either that or Soul Eater. I don't remember, but I loved Soul Eater and I really liked Full Metal. But I've never been tempted to rewatch Full Metal ever, and I've rewatched Soul Eater. So
My first was Sword Art Online. I've rewatched it 10 times. It is terrible, and I love it. My second was Attack on Titan.
that's crazy. That's cool.
Okay,
Nice.
we're gonna go ahead and hit my next topic. This one should be fairly quick. This is
Cool.
one that I thought wasn't real for a very long time.
Okay.
I have seen this trailer in like scrolling through TikTok and whatever, and it's a Matthew McConaughey movie, and you watch the trailer and you say, "There's no way that is a real movie," and yet it is. So I watched it. Matthew McConaughey is the only fully grown person in his family of midgets, and he
Are you
has to
serious?
deal with the trauma of being the outcast as a fully grown person. And Gary Oldman plays a midget. Um,
Kate
he,
Beckinsale.
yep, he gets her pregnant, and they have to deal with the trauma that is that child would most likely be a midget. Literally, this doesn't look like it's a real thing. It's a real movie. Um, I watched it. It is very uncomfortable. Matthew McConaughey is an abusive asshole. Uh, his brother hits on the girl that he gets pregnant all the time. Uh, the girlfriend and Matthew McConaughey get married, and then in front of everyone, the now wife and Gary Oldman kiss in front of everyone. And she's like, "You're so sweet." And Matthew McConaughey's like, "That's cool. Let's go on our honeymoon." And I'm sitting there like, what even is this movie? Like, why am I watching this? This is so weird. Um, then Matthew McConaughey is an abusive dick. So the girl leaves with the child. And where does she go? The cabin in the woods where midgets are free to be midgets. So she moves in with the brother and the cousin is just like this really weird guy who lives in the woods. And the reason he lives in the woods is because nobody will judge him if he's living in the woods. So you kind of experience that for a little bit. And then Matthew McConaughey comes back and he's like, "I'm a good guy now, and I'm going to be a good dad, and everything you want." And she's like, "It's okay. I'm letting you go." And he leaves. And then Matthew McConaughey turns around to Gary Oldman and is like, "Love my son," and then gets in a car and drives off. This is a
What?
weird movie. Like, super, super weird.
This sounds like something AI made up. The cover looks like somebody got stickers of the individual people and put it on the cover and then took a picture of it.
Yep. Like I said, I had seen trailers for this show.
That's
And I
crazy.
thought this was made up. And then I saw an interview with Matthew McConaughey saying, like, "I made this movie that nobody believes is real, and it is 100% real." And I was like, so I looked it up, I watched it, it was an experience. I don't recommend it unless you're just morbidly curious because it is a weird, weird watch.
I am so curious just because Matthew McConaughey, Peter Dinklage, Kate Beckinsale, and Gary Oldman. That's nuts.
Yep.
All of these are actors that are not like they're good actors, they're big actors. Or maybe they weren't at the time. I even think they were probably big then.
They were big.
Read the script and they were like, "Yes, we should all be on this movie."
I can't believe that Gary Oldman did it. Yes, I can play a midget with a humpback. That's my guy. I could play that role.
I've worked. I scraped. I did everything that was required to get past having to do movies like this. But this one, just there's something special about it.
I feel
It's
like
calling me back.
they're at a party. It was a truth or dare. They all were drunk and they all signed. That's what happened in my mind.
I don't know what happened. I cannot imagine looking at this script. It's called Tiptoes and it's about midgets. And being like, "Yep. Screw my rom-com life. This is the next role for me." I don't know. Conlon, watch it. Let us know what
I'm
you think. It
interested.
is so weird.
For real, I'm actually interested. This sounds horrible.
It is. It is not very good. There is an underlying, like, "Hey, don't be prejudiced" message. It's there. It's not forced. They do a good job with it. But, like, half of the movie is also like, how are we going to live if this baby's a midget? And the guy literally grew up in a family of midgets. Maybe the same way they did. Maybe they'll be just fine. Maybe you would have an advantage because you would have the experience. By the way, one of the midgets is a doctor. One of the midgets gives the girl reading material on, like, raising a midget baby and what it's gonna be like and what the risks are. And, like, Matthew McConaughey's like, "This is gonna be so hard. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. The baby's gonna get bullied." You're like, that's what you're concerned about? Grow up, douchebag.
It is
It's a
insane
weird
that this movie exists. It's insane that I don't know. I have to watch this. I actually need to watch this. I'm going to watch this.
Well, you
I'm gonna have a
can.
good time. This is these are the kind of movies that make me wish that I drank because I think that that would just be a good time.
I don't think that it's not like acid trippy, weird,
Oh,
funny
it's not
stuff.
okay.
It is like a pretty serious movie that just is off and
Okay.
makes weird decisions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
let's move on from that because that's all I really have to say about that weird movie. Um, Lauren, what you got for us?
I got this new Spider-Man trailer.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
I think it's so funny because like the main thing I've been really mad about the Spider-Mans with Tom Holland is that they won't let him just have his own movie where it's just him as Spider-Man. So I was like finally excited that it feels like we were moving in that direction. And then the Hulk pops up. And I'm like, why is Banner here? Peter is smart. Stop having him go to other smart mentors and like let him be Peter, the smart kid. Come on. So I'm a little bit annoyed again that they're kind of putting him back under another superhero. Then a little bit hypocritical, but not because I'm more angry that if they're putting him back under like a tutor type thing. Um, I see that the Punisher is in this, and I'm really excited for that dynamic because I love that actor. I love him as the Punisher.
You love looking at John Bernthal. We all do.
Is through. I get to see John and Tom in the same movie. I'm excited. um, but yeah, it's interesting because I've also been laughing at the memes where people are like, "Yes, Peter's depressed finally." um, but which I'm a little bit sad that we'll see sad Peter. Um, but I'm really excited. Can't wait for it to come out into theaters. Also, everybody who is nitpicking Tom Holland in a suit, go touch grass and you go to the gym because he's fit. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's
People are
so
freaking
dumb.
out about him being in a suit.
So, from Homecoming, people are um, critiquing his body from when he was freaking 15 to now as he's like almost 30, and he's
Yeah.
like he's fit, he's a fit person, and they're like he's getting a dad bod, he's fat, and I'm like no he's not. Like you guys are insane, and this is why we have so many eating disorders. But anyway, um it made me really angry that people were nitpicking his body in the suit with the first time an image was released with him in the suit for this movie.
That is super lame.
Memora angry. So people can go touch grass and go to the gym.
I agree. I like this trailer a lot. I thought it was really good. I'm actually more excited for it than I was before. Uh, the friendly neighbor joke was actually pretty good and clever, and I actually enjoyed it. My dad has the original appearance of Punisher. Like he has the first comic book, and the last one that sold for $43,000, and he's got it, which I think is super cool. But it makes me even more excited for this because I just have that nostalgia of actually reading that comic book when I was a kid, and I think it's gonna be good. I hope it's good.
Same. Yeah. I was a little less excited when I saw that Banner was gonna be in it. But still excited.
I'm good with Banner being in anything. He can be in whatever. He can be in the next Ted movie. I don't care.
I'm just mad at Marvel always being like, we have to have cameos and we can't just have a superhero movie with just the superhero anymore. And so
That's totally fair.
I'm like, I was so excited because we never got one where it was Peter finally on his own and trying to figure things out, and we still don't. So
Yeah. Have you? What do you think about the whole? They might bring a Gwen Stacy into this. At least that's what I've heard.
mm, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Hmm.
I don't
That
think
was
they
good.
have any other choice.
What do you mean?
If they bring MJ back after everything that they just did with MJ, it's going to cheapen
So
the
cheap.
previous experiences. Like, I am not looking forward to this movie. I love Spider Man. I was looking forward to him having his own standalone, friendly neighborhood Spider Man movie. Now they're bringing in the Punisher. They're bringing in Bruce Banner. Which, by the way, just give the Hulk his own movie. I know the first one didn't do well, but like the Hulk is one of the most popular Marvel characters of all time. You could 100% give
Make
him his
money.
own standalone thing and he could do well. You don't have to keep just putting him in other stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you have Mark Ruffalo. He's a good actor, you know. If you want to do a prequel, just get somebody who kind of looks like him. Like it would be totally fine. I would love to see a Hulk standalone movie. I
Me
am a
too.
way bigger fan of all of the standalone movies than the Avengers movies. So like all of the crossover stuff literally means nothing to me. Like I always feel like it cheapens, it takes away when you just
And
crowd it.
I actually like the Hulk movies. I know no one else does. I
I
get
do
it,
too.
but
I like
I
the
actually
Incredible
like
Hulk.
them.
I like it.
Do you like both of them? I actually like both. I know people don't. I like both of them.
I
I watch
only
both. I
know
like
of
both.
one of them. When I watch Marvel movies, I start with the Incredible Hulk from '07.
Cool.
That's the one I know of. It's got some really cool CGI stuff, and I like it a lot. But yeah, I'm with Lauren. Like, just let him be alone. The Punisher
For
will add an
one.
interesting dynamic. If they add these other heroes or anti heroes, please don't make him another big brother father figure of Spider Man. Like
Yeah, I don't want that at
if
all.
he's on an equal playing field with the Hulk and the Punisher, and they're working together, kind of like the Spider Man were in the previous movie, that will be less bad to me. But I still just want Spider Man fighting Scorpion or the Green Goblin or Electro or one of
Whoever.
his thousands of freaking villains and being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and saving the day for the small. Like, I feel like Marvel's really like struggling with trying to lower the stakes. I feel like they're at a point where they feel like they have to raise the stakes again. And you do that by
And they don't.
having multiple heroes and having a bigger thing. And like we already know there's going to be 3 heroes in it and 3 villains. Conlon, can you name any bad Spider-Man movie with more than one villain?
Yeah. It's called Spider-Man 3.
And the Amazing
Um,
Spider-Man 2? Like, it never works. Learn the lesson. So yeah, I'm very cautious about this one. When it was first announced, I was pretty optimistic about it because it's called Brand New Day, and it shows Peter Parker moving into the apartment, and it looks just like the apartment from the Tobey Maguire movies, which is just like perfect. And then this new trailer comes out, and they're like, by the way, there's 3 villains and 2 other heroes that we're telling you about. So that's where I'm at. I'm like, could you just like not? Could I just like get a Spider-Man movie again? Like
just a
Spider-Man
nice,
One and
chill
Spider-Man Two
Spider-Man
are
movie.
easily the best Spider-Man movies.
Still, for sure. That doubt.
Just do that, and then Into the Spider Verse happens, and it's just Spider Man again. And oh, look at that, it's very popular. And then everybody kind of is very mixed on the Tom Holland ones because there's more than one hero. He's never on his own. He's Little Iron Man, whatever the criticism is. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I do hope it's good because I do love Spider-Man, but we'll see.
Me too.
Okay, let's move on to our shared topic. This movie is Sunshine, starring Chris Evans. This was Conlin's suggestion, so normally we would start with him, but I do have a feeling he's going to be the most positive, having watched this. So we're going to end with Conlin, so we can end on a high note. Lauren, I would
Okay.
love to start and hear where you're at.
I actually enjoyed this movie. It did not go where I thought it was going. Because you have these. There was an expedition that went. So the movie we watched was Sunshine. Uh, and in this movie, the sun is dying. They sent an expedition to go like restart the sun by like exploding it and restarting the star, basically. And that one failed, so they're sending this new um, ship, and they have taken all of Earth's resources to make this huge bomb to restart the sun. There's no more chances after this one, and they're going, and as they get like past Mars, I believe, or like
Mercury.
Mercury.
Mars
There
is
we go.
the
I was like,
enemy.
Mars is behind. Yeah, that's why I paused. I was like, wait, I think they're going backwards. If that was Mars, we were talking about Mars before this, so that's why my mind went there. Anyway, they go past Mercury, and they get this broadcast from the other ship, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're still like, this means they're still alive, and they're basically right at the sun, just like 1,000 miles away from where they were going to deposit it. So they're trying to decide whether they should go pick up these people, try to save the first ship, or if they're just going to go to the location and be done with it. And it's more safe. They'll go there, deposit the thing, and leave. And they're like in a dead zone, so they can't call Earth. It's all up to them whether they're doing this. And they end up like it's Mark Strong's character keeps like popping up as like he was the captain of they call the ships Icarus 1 and 2 because they're going to the sun. Funny. And Mark Strong's character is the captain of this other vessel, and they're like going through his transmissions that they got, and it seems kind of like he's going crazy, and it seems like some more people on the ship are going crazy, and then I can't remember what happens, what happened to where they have to like fix their ship, and then they decide that they need to go to this other ship so that they can like pull resources from both ships and make an escape on one of them. But the captain ends up dying, and there's this beautiful song that I already had on my playlist, and I was like sitting there watching it while I was like playing my game, and then this song came on, and I was like, you have my full attention. I was like, I know this song. And it was really funny because I kind of paused because I was listening while I play my game. I like listen to music, so I had like my music going on, playing my game and watching this movie. And I had to pause to be like, oh, I think my Spotify is getting a little too loud because I think it's interfering with my movie. And I like went to Spotify and I was like, oh no, I don't have the music on playing. Oh, this is what it's from. I love the soundtrack. And I didn't realize I already had the soundtrack on my playlist.
That's funny.
Yeah. I was really interested in it. And then when the Mark Strong's character, they go to, when their ship got compromised, their garden that has their O2 reserves blows up. So they go to the other ship because they're like, we have no choice. We have to go to the other ship. And like, it seems like everything's dead, but the O2 is okay. And somehow Mark Strong's character lives, hops onto their ship, and he's like kind of like burnt to a crisp. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe I missed that of like how he survived. But I was freaking out because there was a little bit of where they go onto the other ship and there's just flashes of faces. that come up onto the screen, and I was like, did I see that right? Like, is that supposed to happen? It was like freaking me out. So I started going back, and I think it has something to do, like, they mentioned something about quantum stuff going on, and so I was wondering if they were trying to do visually weird stuff to make you feel like the whole quantum whatever thing was going on. So I got a
I
little
think part of it.
confused. What?
I think that was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that little bit got me confused. I think you'd still have a really solid movie if you just had them trying to get um, to the sun. You don't need Mark Strong's character sabotaging it. There's enough things to happen in space to just sabotage stuff. And I think it would have been just as impactful. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd give it an 8. And
An
I love the
eight?
music.
Oh,
You'd give it an eight? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Wow. I was not
Wow.
expecting an eight.
I
Yeah,
wasn't either. I thought you would like it, but I didn't expect an 8.
yeah. I'd watch.
That's cool.
I'd watch again.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Josh.
Okay, so for me, this is the most high highs, low lows movie I think I've ever seen. Like, if I were to describe this movie in one word, I would say bipolar. Because
Okay.
the concept, a 9 out of 10 concept. I love what they're doing. I love that they addressed the amount of materials that they were taking from Earth just to do this mission. I love the way they addressed the science of it, even though the science is quite wrong in a lot of ways. But they were like, it's the size of Manhattan. And I was sitting there like, that's a lot of Earth materials. And you're sending 2 of these? Like, that's enough you would affect Earth's gravitational pull. That is a lot of material you're taking. But they talked about it, and I was like, kudos to them. They're great. Chris Evans, acting performance, great job. Everybody else's performance that they're giving in this movie, great job. They're doing really great. Soundtrack in this movie, great job. Uh, all the way up to them getting to the first ship. I was like really into this movie. I was like, I'm not loving a lot of it, but there's some really really cool concepts. I'm very intrigued by this. And then they get to the Icarus one, and then they board it, and then it's just like the most up and down horror movie, maybe not horror movie, I think I've ever seen. Because Mark Strong's character comes on to our ship, and I'm like, great concept. And then, like, every time they show him, his, like, glowing and light is going through him. So I was like, is he real? And then we get to the part, and his arm skin pulls off, and I'm like, okay, so he is real. Why won't they ever just show him? And then they give him like a ton of backstory that we just don't see. We don't get to see how he survived. He's like, I spoke to God for 7 years. And you're like, I'm interested. Are we going to get a flashback of like what Mark Strong's character, like how did he go from commander of Icarus 1 to I spoke to God and he's telling me to ruin this for you? Like, any idea where how that possibly happened? I don't know. Um, we have very inconsistent characters. Like Chris Evans' character, it is a dirtbag. He's so rude. He hates everyone. He's causing problems. We get a problem with the shield. The most dangerous thing that we're going to have to do, we're going to have to angle the shield just so that we can go out and try and repair it. And he's like, you have to go and do it. I volunteer this other person to go do it. And they're like, okay, I guess I will. And so he's doing the most dangerous thing. And then 5 minutes later, we're on the other ship. It was sabotaged. It broke apart. We have to launch back into the Icarus 2. And who's the highest priority of safety? That same character. And who's pushing this message? Chris Evans' character. I'm like, I thought you were trying to kill him. I kind of got that message before, and now you're like, he's the highest priority because he made the bomb. Okay, I guess. I guess we're somewhat mature for some unexplainable reason. Um, so yeah, there's just like very inconsistent things. A lot of this movie is spent on morality of taking one life versus another, or versus the many. And after the fire happens and they lose all their oxygen, they're having the dumbest debate I have ever heard. Are we going to kill that guy? And I think are we going to kill that guy can be a valuable thing if you're talking about a survivable mission. But they're not. They're like, if we kill that guy, three of us can get to the point where we're going to die.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of the point is they don't have enough oxygen to function to be able to complete the mission, so someone has to die.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that's dumb. You still need to complete the mission.
There
yeah.
was
That's why
still
you're doing this.
at this
You
point
thought you were going to die anyway.
at this point
That's
there
my
was still
point.
hope
They're
that
going
some
to
people
die.
might live.
No. There was only enough oxygen to get three people to the point. There was no hope of survival.
At this point, they were going to die, but they had to kill somebody to have enough oxygen to complete the mission. So that
Yes.
is what's required to complete the mission. I don't think that that's dumb. It's what you have to do.
Yeah, that's my point. It's something you have to do. There is no
Okay.
moral or ethical argument about it. If you
I
die
see
now
what you're
or
saying.
die later, what are we talking about? Everybody's going to die in this at this point. There is no
Okay.
hope at this point, right?
Yeah, it's not
It
like
is
you
a
have Icarus
heavier
1 to
debate
be
where
able
it's
to
like,
go get oxygen or whatever it is.
yeah, there is a heavier debate of like, do we kill this person so we can have a chance at surviving? But it's not that. It's, do we kill this person so that we can finish the mission, or we don't kill this person and we don't finish the mission? Right? It is a debate. It is something that they have to do. But this whole movie, like a large section of the movie, they're debating it, and I'm like, it's not much of a debate. Somebody has to die.
The thing that got me was that they still were detaching the bomb from the ship. I was like, just run the ship into the sun.
Yeah,
You don't have to detach
there's
it and do that 4 minute thing.
there's a lot of like logical issues with the actual movie when you get into the
Yeah.
science of it. Like, why
They
don't
do
they
actually.
just detach it and let it fall into the sun from far away? Why don't they just attach the Icarus 1 to the Icarus 2 and fly it using the propulsion of the Icarus 1? It doesn't take that much propulsion. You're literally letting gravity do the work. There's a lot of like logic, science issues you can point at in this movie. But I think they address enough of them with enough logic to get past it, right? They don't just like leave a bunch of like science questions you would have unanswered. They address them like, hey, the plant's burned up. This is how much oxygen we have. If we did our math correctly, three of us can make it to the point where we detach the bomb. Four of us can't. And like, there's other things you could do, right? Like, they're putting one of the people unconscious. If you put somebody unconscious, they consume a lot less oxygen. What if you put three people unconscious? Would you then save enough oxygen? Like, there's a lot of questions and logical ways to dance around it. But um, why is this the only way? Why do you manually have to detach it? Why is it not computer automated that when you get to point A, the bomb detaches, 4 minutes go off? Like,
It was computer automated, but because the computer systems were taken out of the coolant and a lot of them were shut down, he couldn't get to the main system to reactivate that sequence. So they had to do it manually because that's all that was left to them. They actually
well,
did talk about that.
they said that they still have to go manually detach it, and then they would have 4 minutes before that computer stuff happened,
Mm.
right? So yeah, like I said, character inconsistencies. Like, Chris Evans' character was the most inconsistent character. We must save the bomb maker, but we must kill the bomb maker. But I will sacrifice myself for the bomb maker, and I will use my last dying breath to make sure the bomb maker succeeds at his mission. It like the whole pacing of that ending sequence I didn't really love. I think it really could have been a cool horror movie, right? If you had Mark Armstrong come on and he has the benefit of like 7 years in space, so he doesn't need light, so he turns off all the lights, right? And then we have like Mark Strong trying to kill everyone, but you don't really have that because you have the weird flashes. You have him shining, not shining, blood thing, getting stabbed, not stabbed, whatever. But at the same time, I really loved the scene where he attacked the one guy's dead body because he knew there was a body in there. And then the other girl stabs him, and then we don't really know what happens. And then he's chasing the guy on the bomb, and you're like, dude, what are you gonna do at this point? They're falling into the sun. Um, so it was just like really cool concept, really terrible execution, really cool soundtrack, really terrible this character consistency, really cool this, really bad that. So I landed on exactly a 5 because I feel like the first half is like a 9. I feel like the second half is like a 2. So that's where I landed.
Okay.
Okay, Conlon, tell me everything that
Um,
I'm wrong about and that this show's so great.
I can see where you're coming from, Josh. I just friggin' loved this movie. Like, absolutely loved it. This has been on my list for a decade, literally a decade. I just haven't watched it, but it has Cillian Murphy, who is blown up in a lot of things. He's a great actor. It's got Chris Evans. It's got Rose Byrne, who people would recognize Cliff Curtis from Marvel stuff. Or no, Cliff Curtis is his claim to fame as being the Fire Lord in the Avatar movie. So basically, he's a big deal. And then you got Michelle Yeoh, who's huge. You got Benedict Wong, who's in Marvel stuff. Mark Strong, everybody knows. Like, the cast is crazy. I love the ideas that are presented in this movie. Yes, there are some logical fallacies. I noticed that too. I was thinking it might hurt Josh's rating a little bit more. I actually thought he'd be a little bit more negative because of that, because there are quite a few. But I didn't care. I had a really good time. I just enjoyed it. The first half is tense and it builds, and there's a lot of emotional depth to it, and I love the character interactions. When things start getting more hostile, and you have Benedict Wong's character who screws up, and he's having to deal with the guilt of screwing up. It's fantastic. And then you get into the horror aspect later on, and I love space horror. I love space horror. Space horror is my favorite thing. And I was like, I love this. This is literally a movie made for me. When Mark Strong is standing in the light, I thought the scene was beautiful with him like glowing, and you don't really see him. It makes him feel more menacing and like just terrifying. And I loved that. I loved their lack of showing. I don't like shaky cam, but this really wasn't shaking cam. It was like they were splitting the view into two when he was walking around. And I thought it was a really cool visual aspect that they incorporated into the movie to make it feel more menacing. You have these images of the sun that are absolutely jaw dropping, like they're beautiful. And they're just standing in the sun, and the sun is baking them. And something that I wish I would have liked better is at the end, when it was more of a horrific aspect, if he actually wasn't there. I would have liked that better. I still liked the like monster design, monster aspect to it, but if it all would have all been in their head, and the Wong character actually did commit suicide, and then have Michelle Yeoh have the knife, you show her later where it looks like she got stabbed in the back, but it's actually in her front and she stabbed herself. I would have liked that better. They're losing their mind. They're losing oxygen. That would have been more interesting, but the way that they did it was still excellent. They did a great job of incorporating horror into this high sci-fi concept movie in a way that very few things do. Before this movie, Alien was my favorite space horror movie. This is now my favorite space horror movie. I absolutely loved it. And even with all the logical inconsistencies, it's just a good time. The acting is good, the music is good, the design is good, the imagery is good. Um, it's I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Even when it was a slow burn, I was like, "What's gonna happen next? I gotta know. I gotta know what's gonna happen next." Let's go. I'm going to watch this movie again. I will watch this movie many, many, many more times. This is an absolute solid 9 for me. I loved it.
I did think it was funny because as soon as Mark Strong popped in and like I think it was when he stabs her in the thing, I was like, oh, I bet Colin loves this.
Yes, it's so good. Oh, I love this movie. I love this movie.
I thought you were gonna like it. I thought you were gonna love it. Better than Alien to you is amazing to me.
Yeah, dude, I was literally floored by how much I love this movie.
Good. I'm really glad you liked
Yeah,
it.
I really, really, really did. Like, really did.
All right.
Anyway, guys,
I think
that's my
it's
review. Absolutely watch this. This is an unsung hero. This should be known by more people. I literally at work today went to everybody that I know that likes movies and like, have you seen this movie? Have you seen it? Have you seen it? Watch it now. Like, watch it today. What, do you like horror movies at all? Watch this movie. Did you like Project Hail Mary, but you also like serious drama, like horse type stuff? Cool. Watch this. It's not exactly the same. I don't really care. Watch it.
well. There you go. I would recommend people watch it too. Um, it's like B plus movie to me, not like as
I
phenomenal,
loved
but
it. I
they did
loved
do a
it.
lot of really good stuff. Thank you everybody for watching and or listening. Appreciate everybody. Hope you have a great weekend. Next week we're going to be talking about the intro to Expedition 33, and play along with us if you'd like. We're just going to talk about the prologue, so you don't have to play too much. Remember to be better today than you were yesterday. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the good things.